Hello, everybody, and welcome in. Happy Tuesday! It is officially Tuesday. We all made it safely through Monday, and here we are right inside of Jason's light box. You might ask yourself, why is there a panic today? There's really not. It's just the fact that I tried to go camera up, and then for some reason, something was wrong with YouTube again today, and it wouldn't let me reverse my camera. It wouldn't give me the option. So we rushed right into the light box, and I thank you so much for joining in. As always, I'm incredibly grateful for you. And when people ask, why do you thank people so much? First of all, I was raised right. And secondly, I think it's important that you know how much you changed my life. That's all. That's as simple as it is. So thanks for coming in. This squash blossom necklace is part of the parade of necklaces for today, and I wanted to stay focused on something. I wanted to stay focused on a theme for this video, so I wanted to stay focused on some of my most favorite necklaces, and specifically, in just a little bit, some more of my pendants. I will show some beaded pieces as well. When people ask me, what do I collect, and what do I seek out, this is a video of pieces that I've kind of fallen in love with, and when I bought for resale, I may have decided at a later time to say, I'm going to put that away. I'm going to put that away for a little while. Anyways, so this necklace has been with me for approximately 8 years now. It is a squash blossom. It is Navajo, and it's circa 1955 to 1965. Some people think that it is, in fact, older than 1955. I don't see any indication that it's pre-1955, so we can circa date it to the 1955 time period without fighting with anyone. But this is one of the most incredible and well-made squash blossoms, and I am going to bring on a display of all of my squash blossom necklaces, not in one video, but I'll be bringing on a large collection that I've worked on for a very long time. And you have to remember, I've been doing this for 28 years, nonstop. So that's why I have the things that I have. But I wanted to bring this one on really quick to just show you the basic construction of early squash blossoms, hand soldered together. Great oxidation, great solder seams, wonderful craft, and look at the thickness of these actual blossoms. The flower blossoms kind of sometimes really help out the indication of age. Look at the thickness of the metal. Yes, they can still replicate that today. Most are very thin and tin-like. Almost looks like they're cut out of a tin can. You can see that these are very old, and over time, this has been polished. Look at the oxidation down inside of those blossoms. That's not forced or fabricated or made to look old. That's genuinely old. I'm sure this had been polished over time. I never polished this since it's been in my collection. And also, note the way that this is constructed with those style of beads, and look at that thick, lush oxidation. The joining rings are brass, totally acceptable for early as well, and look at the cable chain. Anytime you see a squash blossom on this style cable chain or square foxtail or tiger tail. I forget what they call this. I'm going to blank out on it right now. And then someone's going to correct me in the comments 3 minutes in and already blundering, but you get the feel for why I brought this on. We'll talk about turquoise mine. We'll talk about a lot of things on these specifics when I bring them on. And I just had to start the video with something that I've worn and enjoyed now for, oh boy, yeah, the last 8 years strong. I reach for this one. I don't know. There's something about the color and the form and the style. Okay, so I probably should have went camera up for this video and just stayed camera up because this is going to be very tricky to get all of these larger style necklaces and larger style pendants into the light box. But we're going to proceed forward and just say, let's cope with it and deal with it. So I go from that to this, and I hope you stick with me today because I'm so not only grateful that you're here, but I'm grateful that I'm able to show some of these pieces out of my collection. I was supposed to do a video today on Victorian jewelry, and I'm doing a presentation this evening on Victorian jewelry, and that's another thing I forgot to tell all of you. I was supposed to do a live feed from the talk for the Akron Gem and Mineral and Lapidary group. And I can't do the presentation live tonight on YouTube because there is no Wi-Fi there. So if you remember my video from the house, from the estate sale house, when I did a live and it was all pixelated and garbaged up, that's because of bad Wi-Fi connection. So I think I might do a pre-recorded video this evening of me in front of the group as full transparency for some of the presentations that I give on the local and also national level. Okay, so I hope I can do a recorded video from there and that it works out. So we're going to attempt to do that tonight. This is Edwardian, and this is platinum and diamond. And why I show you this is I can go from a large sterling silver Navajo squash blossom to a turn of the century, circa 1900, diamond and platinum lavalier necklace and commit this to my personal collection. I'd always been intrigued and I'd always been very touched spiritually by the Edwardian time period. Anything around 1900, 1915 really was, I will say it, probably my favorite time period in the history of jewelry specifically. Not my favorite time period in history, period, but in jewelry. This is exceptional for platinum and diamond and a lavalier. Those stones are European cut. Those are collet and bezel set. And what I loved about the intricacy of that top pendant was this very sensual and very feminine and very beautiful knife edge double drop pendant. And that is considered a lavalier. Some people will call it another term because of the double drop. Let's just give it the general term of a lavalier. And it's a beautiful, beautiful pendant. And I love this very much because that central diamond is just really beautiful. When people ask me, are you really stuck on diamonds? The answer is no. It's just another gemstone. But it's a gorgeous gemstone, and to be honest, the people that don't, quote, get diamonds, I don't get them. I'm like, I just don't get you, Why would you leave out a stone? I've never understood that. Maybe because of expense. Let's be frank about it. This is rutilated quartz and diamonds, and I've shown this in a video before, but I've never brought it close up. And I wanted you to see the intricacy of that double diamond border. And then the diamond bail, the attention to detail on this. And I always say, look at craft. This is more contemporary. So when I say I don't buy contemporary, I will buy contemporary, A, when it looks old, and B, when it's incredibly well crafted. And by the way, C, I'll buy contemporary when I know I can sell it and make a ton of money. So I'll sell contemporary so that I'm able to invest in antiques. Let's be frank on it, I will reach for contemporary, but it has to be special. It has to be unusual. It has to be the best of. It can't just be a commonplace. It has to be the best. And that's speaking truth. Look at the way the bail is soldered there with the internal jump ring to hold that in place so that that doesn't roll around and be clumsy. There's a little stop inside of there. That's amazing. Sterling silver, all open back set diamonds, and then that open back set large rutilated quartz. Have you ever seen a rutilated quartz so loaded with rutile crystals? That is just golden goodness. I love the color play between that rich golden luster and then that outside mellow, oxidized, aged sterling silver, then that dazzle of little tiny diamonds. Those are just about 1 point diamonds. They're very small, fully cut, all hand set. Really beautiful, absolutely stunning pendant. And yeah, I've worn this now, probably 3 or 4 times on a very long chain. But that I bought from Paris and his brother. Years ago at the International IX Center show. I show you this one to kind of show you the artistry part of what I looked for. I'm looking at my desk here, and you should see how many pieces I pulled out for this video. Artisan constructed, lush green tourmaline, citrine, moonstone, and peridot. That center tourmaline is just the most lush and gorgeous thing I've ever seen. Mixed metals, and you know how I feel about putting gold and silver together. That's okay for anyone else. I just don't do it. I just don't do it. It's just not my thing, you know? I love all white metal on myself. I love all, platinum, silver, or white gold. So this I picked up for the artistry part of being hand constructed and put on this amazing silver cable. Look at that handmade locking mechanism that undoes and then pulls out in sterling silver. It unhooks. That cable is absolutely stunning on this piece. This would be late 1990s. I think I bought this just after it was made way back in the day. I just, that center stone, gets me every time. And look, I'll move that out. Look at that. What on earth, absolutely stunning. Really, really gorgeous stone. Let me take a quick peek and see if this was artisan signed. And let's see here. No, it's not. And I need to clean this up. Yeah, that needs to be cleaned. Wow, that's a dirty one. I'm surprised I even brought that on today. All right, so this one. And this might be Jason's sloppiest video yet. This one is Santo Domingo. And I've talked about one similar to this a while back. These always got me. I could talk about this for 30 minutes, but I just show you, I guess, I love the mixture of materials. When you get into natural shell and turquoise and coral, mother of pearl, and then that epoxy inlay, and then just drilled through and put on these beautiful, beautiful beads. The presence of such things and the energy that these things carry. I think that's why maybe I went after this one, as opposed to another version back in the day. We used to be able to find these very frequently, and I say frequently, maybe one or two a year, locally, in Ohio. Out west, maybe they're everywhere, but here in Ohio, they're not everywhere. And this one, like I said, as soon as I saw it, I said, oh, yeah, I had a choice to make. I had between this one and another one. And I said, the age on this one and the love, the idea that this was worn, I should say, the ideal that was worn. I love that one. Let's do more. Oh, this I bought at the gem show. I think I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. I don't like repeating myself with items. This is Petersite, and this one's specifically from Namibia. Why I bought this version is I wanted the best I could buy. I just said to myself, if you're going to buy a Petersite, buy one and get it over with. Buy one and get it done. Don't buy 3, 4, 5 of them. Buy one. I had one in blue that I just sold to my dear friend here locally. It was an exceptional necklace pendant. It was made by I believe it was Tim Burns from Vermont. This one is set in sterling silver. And look at that bail, all inset with Petersite all the way up. This was $500 at the gem show. This central line I'd covered before, that's where this stone was cut, and the disc or the cutting belt could only go so far because the stone was so large. That's just where it was polished on the back. That's not a crack through the stone. So always pay attention to those details. But that's where the belt could only polish so far. Look at the back of that stone and tell me how I could walk away from this. There was no way. It was a retail price, $500. I did bundle this with other items, and I think it came down to $400. Because of the size and because of the beauty, the color, and those amazing swirls and movement and energy in that stone, don't be afraid to spend money when you get an amazing example of something, And I would say, save up. Save up. Don't just say, oh, I have, maybe $50 or $60 to spend. And then I don't know. That's my suggestion. That's how, because people have asked me lately, how did you grow this collection? It's been difficult. It's been a labor of love. It's cost a lot of money. It's not, this is, that's just, oh, and I bought this one too. I did put this on this chain, but I think this is that condor. I think this is condor agate. I do believe, but I picked this one because of color. My favorite color is orange. And the saturation of that, an artisan signed sterling silver, I put it on this chain. I have a massive collection of unusual sterling silver chains. And I just actually, it's a cute story. The couple that came to see me from 2 hours away, they came to my show this last weekend, and I had a filigree necklace, turn of the century, sterling silver, handmade. I said I'd never sell it because it had like a drop pendant on it, and she had a necklace she was wearing, and it was on a rope chain. Long story short, I looked at it and I said, this is the chain you need, and I pulled it out of my back stock. It wasn't out for sale. And so she fell in love with it, and she was like, oh, I have to have it because it completes my necklace. And it did technically complete her necklace. I gave it to her. I couldn't figure out a price that would make me happy, and I, normally that would be, $150, $200 for that. And I just gave it to her. I just said, please take this home with you. So, and they're YouTube, YouTube viewers and now YouTube family. And I'm so glad they're a delightful couple. Anyways, I've collected unusual sterling silver chains for a long time. So if you want to see a sterling silver chain video, I can most certainly knock your socks off. So give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. I needed a Zen moment. I was idling too fast and my mouth was too dry. So I took some sips of coffee. This one, I don't keep much gold in terms of necklaces. And this was just so important. I've shown this before, so I'm not going to spend long on if I've shown it before. This one's all solid gold. And I loved that spinner fob of citrine. And someone could say, well, that's glass. No, it's citrine. There is a growth line that you will see when I flip this. Look right there. See that line that goes across, that crystalline structure line? That's citrine. That's gem grade citrine. And let's see here. I can't see it on here. Oh, well. You'll have to go to the other video. There's a growth line through the crystal. I'm not going to fidget today. I'm just going to keep right on going. And tonight for my talk, the box of stuff that I pulled out is exceptional. I dug deep. All right, we'll set that aside. I guess I just didn't want to talk about it. I bring it on, flash it, and then I go, I don't want to talk about it now. Let's see what else. This got a big response from my last video. And I can see why. We'll put this one in. Let's line up some stuff. Let's fill this box. Let's just get this over with. This is a no. Oh, I don't think I've shown this before. I don't think I've shown this before. And let's see here. Oh, I didn't show this whole pile. All right, well, there's a whole nother tray over here. Well, full transparency on my channel. I set out a ton of stuff on this tray. And when I say a ton of stuff, I mean, there's the whole other part of the tray is full. I'm not going to talk about that stuff today. So this amber pendant, I just love it. It's exceptional. The metalwork, the design, the craft, again, the skill that it took to put this together, and the decoration of that bail. Whenever you see technically items like this, that's investment grade. That's something that you don't normally see. All open back set, genuine amber. Could you blacklight it and test it? Sure. Did I blacklight it and test it? No. Do I want to? Not particularly. I loved the saturation of color. I loved this kind of cobblestone design. There was something about the fluidity of the design itself, ornate but not overdone. You could say to yourself, almost overdone, but there was something so sensual and beautiful about those hand-fabricated flowers that went in between these stones. Again, if someone asked me to make this today, I would say the amber stones are going to run you approximately, and this is just guessing, $100 to $150, right? And then you look at the silver, sheet silver, wire, solder. You're probably another, just in materials on silver, you're probably another $140 to $160. So let's say in terms of materials, that's about $300 to $350 as a general feel. The time that it would take and the skill that it would take to solder all of this together, make the bezels, make sure the stones fit, keep track of what stone goes in what bezel because they're all slightly different, and just the basic construction of soldering this whole thing together, you would be into a pendant for time that would take a skilled silversmith at least, from my experience, it would take me about a full day's work to get that together, to solder all those pieces together. And I do intricate work much like this now, so it's not something I'm unfamiliar with. I would say hours on that, let's say 10 hours. Someone could probably do it faster. I'm sure there's silversmiths out there that say I could do that in 5 hours. It probably looked like a 5-year-old child made it by the time they were done. The intricacy and the sensitivity is what takes time. The balance, the thought process, that I would say, to me is worth at least $650 on the secondary market. And then someone could say, well, that's 4 times too much. Well, you know what? Then you go, you buy the materials, you learn how to make this, and you tell me how much you would sell it for. Let's be frank about it, So absolutely love it. I don't know what else to say about it besides the fact that it's exceptional, and I love that. So we'll lay that there. I've worn this now, I think only a handful of times. And then it's weird because I'll wear things and then I just retire them to the collection. This one's Ohio Flint. I think I may have shown this before. You know what? I did. I don't want to repeat myself. I've shown that before. This one I haven't shown before. And we'll talk about this stone in a coming video because everyone's probably asking, what is that? Most of you probably already know. It's part of a fossil. It's part of, it's part of a fossil, and it's kind of like the secondary material that they cut away. This being citrine and sterling silver. I love the way that citrine was faceted with that central kind of rosette or medallion down inside that stone. Really beautiful, and I loved that kind of figuralness of this, a head and a body. There's just something very simple and beautiful, and a sterling silver mounting that was very well done. So that was a yes, and very inexpensive. I think I bought that for $35 with chain. Retail, and that's $120, $140. We all know that, So anytime I got a deal, I stashed stuff as well. I don't know how this video is coming out today, but I'm already 20 minutes in. I can't help it. I can't change today. Today is just that day, This is sterling silver and massive and monumental. That's been with me a long time. Why I show these is I always recommend to people, get some plain sterling silver pieces or some plain gold pieces. They stack really well. They go with other things. So you don't have to plaster stones on everything that you buy. I never did. And I guess that's where I'm at with the videos. People had said, show us some things that you wear and how you wear them. So that's how I'm going to start to get into that with future videos of going camera up and showing you how do I pair this with another necklace, or this with a pin, or this with a bracelet, this with a bracelet and a ring. How did I do it? How do I do it? I think jewelry is tells a story when you wear it. It defines you in so many ways. Because it lets a stranger know who you are. It also reminds people that have been in your life a long time how you're feeling on a given day, or what you want to say on a given day. To me, anyway, that's how I've always felt it to be very important, not just basic adornment. I was trained as a silversmith, but I was trained as a conceptual artist. That part of me can't leave now. That insight when I look at pieces is part of how I buy. That's what makes me different in my approach to buying and selling, to consuming and collecting, and also reselling. So this was sterling silver, and I loved this really simple connection of a disc that is slightly domed to form the neck, and then that sanded in circular patterns matte finish. Very modular, very contemporary, very clean. Let me sneak this one out of the way as we talk about this. I don't know. There was something about this one that just really, I don't know how to explain it. When I found it, I thought, boy, that is so special because it's so simple. There was something magical about its simplicity, how it lays around the neck, how it frames the face as I fight with this bust. This video has been a struggle from moment go. And I'm fighting back. You know, that's why you're here. You love the transparency of when things don't go exactly right. And look, it fell off again. So I'll hold it in place. I'll make it stay. So that the sensitivity of form and the simplicity of that overlap, I think the placement is what got me as well. That kind of equal distance and cadence, again, that cadence of form. Something really magical about its simplicity. And like I said, I would wear that higher up. And then I wore things longer. Sometimes, let me show you. Let me go get them. I'll be right back. Well, yeah, I'll be right back. Here I go, running across the house. I normally do this on a live feed. I normally don't do this on a pre-recorded. Why these were hanging out is, I would then sometimes pair that with something like this. One of them or two of them. And these are just hammered discs that were planished and hammered in sterling silver, and I bought them in 3 different sizes. When I found these, I really love these, and specifically this one. Look at the detail work. To make wire in sterling and solder it shut is not difficult. To flatten it down into these almost perfect discs would take someone a long time. The amount that's a labor of love to make a whole chain out of hammered discs that way. Maybe that's the message of this video, is the understanding that I have of how these things are constructed. And I think that's what's always made me a different buyer. But look at those two paired together, tighter on the neck and then way longer with these to kind of almost open up that repetition of form and to have two things that are very similar in form but different in visual weight. See what I'm saying there? I don't know. There's just a story there of concept and love and interaction between two inanimate objects that are, quote, just necklaces. I think the magic is there. I think maybe my human words didn't quite touch the way I feel on that. This was the smaller version. Sometimes I would pair that with that. Didn't make as much sense. And this one was great because it was so different. It was as multi-layered rings inset within each other. But look at that, almost the same size to mimic this. And to fill this in, per se, or this was filled in by this. Sometimes I wore this one doubled around the neck because it's long enough, and then it would lay within that. Look at that. Excuse me? High-end. Bougie, you know, big money and on a budget. This one I think was $100 back when, and this one I think I paid $40 for this. And in weight alone, this one's now like $90, and this one in weight is like $80. But again, to make this today, you'd be spending $200 to make that chain nowadays with just raw materials, because silver's at $30 an ounce. These are very heavy pieces as well. Then I would just wear these 3 together. I guess I just transitioned from a video of a fancy show and tell to how Jason wears his stuff, but look at those together. And they lay within each other. That's the shortest, longer, and longest. And look at how they lay within each other when I would wear them. Yeah, let me zoom in on that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that one, and that one, and that one. And also study my really dirty light box. So, that's that. I don't know. I guess this, as I run back across the house and hang those back up, because I wanted to wear those within the next few days. I was planning that for, is my light box that dirty today? It's kind of looking that dirty today. We'll move this one out because we've talked about that enough. And then this one. So let me zoom back out. Nope, that's back in. Nope, that's back in. This one's Mexican silver. And why I brought this one on is I bought this in 1996. And I paid $20 for it in 1996. Just in metal, I could run over and weigh this. I don't think any of you mind. This is post 1970 something. I don't remember the dates because I don't care. It just doesn't matter. That's post 1970 something, 75, 79. Who's counting? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. We just know that it's post 1970. That's what I always say. More tourist trade, more contemporary. This, I would say now, if I were to buy this now, it'd be like $300 and something. I don't know exactly. 350, 360. Why I stashed this was the wearability of this, the way it lays around the neck. It's huge. And you can see that I wore this, you know, oxidized like crazy. And then someone would say, well, that really bothers me. You know, the dirtiness of that really bothers me. Well, that's fine. If it's yours, you do whatever you want with it. I always left this because that's the story of my life. You know, that's the story of me going to the clubs, wearing cologne, you know, dancing all night long, sweating all over the place, you know, and that's just, it's the story of my life in jewelry. When I find older pieces, I'll sometimes just lightly clean them. So like the, you know, the real, you know, dust and dirt is off, you know, and I'm going to do a cleaning video as well soon. But this link system, the thickness of this, the robustness of this, but it's relatively light in weight. It's hollow formed. The care and skill that was given to form these links, and then look at the solder seam there. To see the hand of the artist that then constructed this, soldered it together, and then hammered that to create these links that so perfectly lay within each other. I would never sell this necklace. There's certain things that have made it into my collection that simply won't leave. It's statement pieces like this that I can't buy again for what I bought it for back in the day. And you will look back over, if you're just starting to collect now or reigniting your collection, you'll notice that a lot of the things that you bought years ago, you can't get for what you can't get them again for what you paid for them. I'll tell you another interesting story. I went through a collection of jewelry that I had basically inherited about 12 years ago from a neighbor. And I went through and I found her original receipt from Home Shopping Club. And back in the day, the necklace set was, it's 14 karat gold, and it's like a necklace, bracelet, and earrings, relatively small in stature and lighter in weight. It was $350 for the set back then. And I weighed it and I did the estimate on it today. Do you know that in gold alone today is $1,400? $1,400. That's a lot of money for something that someone paid $350 for. Retail, $350 from Home Shopping Club years ago. So the escalation of value is real. It's something we can't avoid. Metals, their intrinsic value. If you want to know a little bit more about the intrinsic value of gold, I did a great live feed maybe 2 months ago. It was on gold, and in the thumbnail it's like gold chains that are kind of scrolled up. I gave a lot of information in that video that I look back and I said, wow, I was really focused. I was laser focused on information in that video, and that's what I feel like I want to do in the coming year. I feel like I have stayed on the surface with so many things, and I try and settle in and settle down with information, and then sometimes I just don't excel at that. I wish that this was on a dark backdrop. I think I may have shown that one other time, maybe very early on. You know, let me change the backdrop on this. I'll be right back. Ooh, with one wave of my hand, it's now black behind. I don't know where that came from. Besides the fact that I think it's either I got too much sleep last night or not enough. And it's probably not enough. This is rock crystal, and I constructed this myself in, I don't remember, maybe 2000. I lost track of some of the pieces that I constructed, but these are rock crystal and tumbled, and I wanted an ice necklace. And back in the day when I went to the gem show, I found these crystals, and I said, I'm going to turn that into a necklace, and look at that. And I still wear this. You know, I still wear this years and years later. This one was the polar opposite. I bought these at the same show, and these are, in fact, Murano art glass beads, and sometimes these were imported from China back in the day, but these were the Murano ones, and look at the skill and the craft it took to construct these. And why I bought these is, it reminded me of Willy Wonka and the everlasting gobstopper, and I said to myself, you know, I want an everlasting gobstopper necklace. I really do. And that's back when I went to the clubs all the time, and a sterling silver, and I put it on cable, and I wore that all the time. I mean, that was like a constant fixture on me for many, many years, probably almost a full decade. I wore that. The color and the happiness and I don't know, the sensitivity to surface and how those beads are constructed and how they're put together. All lamp work by hand. Loved the layers of glass. Can you imagine how long it would take to do that? And look at how those colors played off of each other. That was perfection in glass. That was, you know, when people say to me, wow, look at you go from platinum and diamonds to glass. Absolutely. Sure, I stopped at nothing. I'll show you these two. Oh, you know what? Let me show you this one next. I don't think I've ever brought this on. And if you're still here and weathered the storm today, I think that, yeah, I should show this. This is Art Deco original, and I don't think I've ever brought this on. Maybe I did a very long time ago, and maybe I didn't. This is the best French Art Deco necklace I've yet to see in sterling silver. This has been with me a long time. I believe I bought it at the Akron Women's City Club sale. And that was always the very kind of wealthy women who were high society and had disposable money, either inherited or made on their own. And this was exceptional for crystal and sterling silver. And I do think it's signed France somewhere. Let me see if I can find that. And I think they just missed the mark. I think they did. I don't think they found this on here. There it is. And right where it shouldn't be. So on this very tip, always look close. It looks like little tool marks. It says made in and then France. See that right down there? Made in France. Who in their right mind is going to look there for the hallmark? Like no one that I know, you know, except for me. You know, and as a jewelry historian, I was taught to slow down. I was taught to look close. And that's what I always did. And this is, like I said, signed right there, made in France. I am getting so many text messages right now. I think that's why I've been distracted since moment go. I think that's now my 14th or 15th text message, and it comes across my whole screen. So I can't see what I'm doing, and then I get distracted, and it jumbles the videos. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I should have. But when you've got some things going on in your life with your family, you don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb. You just don't do that. So this drop style necklace, this pendant, look at those crystals, and then sterling all the way up, and look at the stations that mimic that central drop, and look at the size of it. It's the biggest version I've ever seen. Very unusual to see that almost aquamarine blue color as well, and it goes all the way up. You know, all these are bezel set, and I should say prong set, but then these kind of bezel forms that then stay underneath as the gallery that supports the stones. That for a flapper necklace, absolutely incredible, and I still wear this. Almost once a month I wear that one. I don't know. That's just very special to me. And very winter. You know, some of these pieces of jewelry have a theme to me. They have a theme of season. They have a theme of light and darkness. They have a theme. They just have a general theme. That's all I can say. Now, I show you these two because, again, I don't remember if I brought these on. I very well could brought these on in a video a long time ago. And there's so many new viewers to my channel that I feel like some of these pieces have been overlooked in previous videos because they've been, you know, it's over a year ago, you know, and not very many people go back to such, you know, quote, old videos. But I do appreciate when you go back to my past videos and leave comments because it reignites my love and my passion in a way, because it shows that I've been doing what I'm supposed to be doing for over a year now, and it just feels so right. I feel loved and I feel appreciated, and I want to thank you all again for the love and the support. These are both turquoise necklaces, and this one specifically was one of my favorites for a long time. Again, we'll do a whole video on turquoise mines. I did a video on turquoise that you look at the thumbnail and you're like, wow, look at his turquoise collection. Loose stones. I touched on mines, I touched on the books, I touched on the guides. We'll take the deeper dive in 2025. I will be bringing on turquoise experts. You know how I feel about the word expert. I absolutely can't stand it. But when you're an expert in a field, I'll be bringing on people that really understand turquoise and know the mines, by heart, and don't make mistakes. And I think that'll help all of us with identification. But these were just the most incredible. Look at the internal inclusions of that rock, crystal, rock, quartz, just in incredible stones, and that mellow, chilled out grass and lime green, so lush, so beautiful. Look at that stone. This is a very old necklace. This has a lot going for it, and those applied leaves. And then people say, well, aren't those feathers? It could be a feather, sure. Absolutely. To me, I think a leaf and a feather in terms of a form, how would you know the difference? Because they did use leaves when they were doing flower blossoms. I don't know where my bracelet is. Where my other bracelet is. One of my favorites has like flowers, and they're leaves, and then someone says, well, aren't those feathers? I'm like, if you want to fight about it, sure, But those forms, that naturalistic form, hand hammered, and I loved this. I just absolutely loved this. Very old connecting system on the back. And the oxidation on the beads is just wonderful. So I show that to kind of end the video, and then this one. Yeah, very, very dirty. Really super, super dirty with oxidation and with life. When this one came to me, it was very over polished, and it had lost its life. It had lost its umph. It had lost its importance. And then I decided to wear it for continuously for years, and then it got its glow back. It has its glow back now. So I appreciate you very much. I was going to try and stay around 35 minutes, and here we are at almost 45 minutes. And this one was a sloppy one, Should I delete it and re-record? Sure. Am I going to? Absolutely not. So I really appreciate your time and your attention. The next few videos are going to be out of the ballpark. I have a couple things planned, and I don't know the chronological nature of my videos for the most part. I thank you so much for joining in. I really want to welcome all the new subscribers, and I thank you for sticking with me. I thank you for defending me. I thank you for loving me, and I love you right back. And you know it because I not only say it, but I feel it. I love you because I do.